So the March 2021 Dallas Card Show in Allen, Texas, had more than 600 vendor tables this time. They needed three total rooms just to accommodate everybody, but it was an awesome, awesome show. So I want to do a quick report on the show, and then also just kind of give you some tips about going to local card shows, especially one this size, like the Dallas show, or if you're considering coming to the Dallas Card Show in May, which I believe is set for the weekend of May 20th. But check it out. Leave any questions below if you have questions about this particular show or what to expect. You know, if you go to shows, there haven't been a lot of shows in the past year, but this Dallas show has really turned into outside of the National Sports Collectors Convention, arguably the biggest and most popular sports card show in the country. Overall, this show, and I'll put some photo and video clips up here just so you can kind of see some of the cool stuff that was at the show. Like past shows at the Dallas Card Show, most of it tends to be modern high grade cards. So in basketball, that's Zion Williams, that's Luka, that's Ja Morant, Mike Trout in baseball, Tatis in football, obviously Mahomes, Tom Brady, Deshaun Watson, those type of guys. So, but this show, I was really pleased to see a lot more vintage cards. So there was a few vendors in a few cases that had some just absolutely sick vintage cards. There was one guy that had a ton of Hank Aaron graded rookie cards, Sandy Koufax. There was another guy that had just a ton of great, really baseball, basketball, and football mid to high grade rookie cards, key cards. Football going back to the late 40s, Leaf and Bowman. But this show, the crowd was awesome. There was a lot of people there. To me, this show seemed to have more people, more vendors there, dealers there that do this full time, or at least that it's more than a hobby for them, right? These are professional people with their own business, their own brand. Many of them have a physical card shop from their hometown, and there were a lot of people from California, New Jersey, Florida, all over the place, right? And in that, I think that also what makes this Dallas card show work is that Dallas is kind of in the center of the country. It's an international airport, DFW airport, and Allen, Texas is not far from DFW airport or Love Field. So it does make sense for a lot of these people to fly in. The show takes place Friday, Saturday, Sunday, essentially Friday afternoon, all day Saturday, and then Sunday afternoon. It's at a hotel kind of convention center, so you can stay at the hotel if you are driving in or flying in, and they do get a discount rate since they are bringing so many people to this hotel. So awesome show. It's $10 to get in, and I was there. Obviously, I focus on vintage football and Michael Jordan cards, and then some modern football and Texas Longhorns players. So I'm there looking at, I almost pulled the trigger on a 57 Unitas PSA 6. I brought some stuff to trade and sell. I actually did not pick up a lot of stuff this time, but I was really there looking for a handful of cards. But I also do spend a decent amount of time thumbing through some low end boxes. Anywhere from $1 to $10, per card, and a lot of that's at the show too. And you can find some good deals in there, especially if you end up pulling out, 10 $3 cards that you could sell for 2 to 3 times as much. Sometimes it's definitely worth spending some time thumbing through some of those lower end boxes, especially if you're pulling out current cards of, say in football, rookie quarterbacks or second-year quarterbacks that you think are going to be up and coming in the next few years. Sometimes you can find Prism and Optic cards of those type of guys for under $5. So most prices, I would say, are marked pretty high, or at least on the higher end of going rates. So pretty much everybody there is up to speed on current market prices. As much as things have been changing over the past year and growing, they're pretty much on top of on current prices. Updated 1 to 2 weeks. So, but having said that, most vendors there are willing to deal. They're willing to, knock off about 10% if you ask. Most of them are especially willing to give you a good deal if you are buying multiple things from them. Most people there are whatever they bring, they want to sell it. They want to get rid of it. But there are a ton of vendors there that are also buying. And if you walk around the show, you'll see, signs saying, we're buying or we're willing to trade. And a lot of vendors will list specific players that they're looking to buy. And, some are willing to deal with you. If you're looking for a card that's $1,000 and you have $500 worth of cards, that you could trade, you could do a cash trade deal. Give them $500 cash and trade in, your cards that you're willing to trade. So, kind of having said that, did want to give you just a few tips on going to the Dallas show, or even a show kind of comparable to that size. The Dallas show has grown to be, I think it's the biggest show that I've ever been to outside of the National Sports Collectors Convention. It's a big show, more than 600 tables. That's a lot. This one had a main room, a main floor that I would say had about 400 tables, and then kind of an overflow room for that, which was pretty small, and then kind of a bigger ballroom that had probably an additional maybe 200 tables. So one big tip, I think, especially going to a show this big, there's always a main entrance. So try going straight to the back of the main room, right? If it's a big room, most of the traffic is going to be focused up front toward the entrance, because usually when people walk in right away, they start looking at the tables right there. Especially if you get there kind of early, go straight to the back, because there might be some great deals back there that you don't want to miss. So kind of go against the grain, whereas most people are going to be kind of maybe focused on picking up some stuff in the front of the room. You might find some great stuff in the back. Also, it's if you start in the front of the room, and with a room that big at this show, you could walk for you could kind of snake through the room and through the tables and rows for 2 hours and not reach the back of the room yet. If you're really just kind of glancing at everything. So start in the back, and you also might miss something, if you start at the front. And then second big tip is to walk the entire floor before you buy anything. Unless you see something that it's a good deal or it's an easy pickup right away, right? But like with me, I was there primarily looking for vintage Dallas Cowboys rookie cards, 57 Unitas rookie card, a few other key vintage cards, and then also I'm always looking for Texas Longhorns players. So if I see a cool like Earl Campbell autograph that I think is a fair or great deal, I may go ahead and just pick that up. But if you're looking for particular things, walk the floor first, ask for prices. Most vendors have the price right on the card. Some you have to ask. Obviously, most of the things are in cases, so you have to ask, if you want to take a look at something. But walk the whole floor first. Take some pictures of some of the cards that you find, or take a little note about where that card is in the room, so that you can come back. That's a good way to, to price some cards. I was also looking at upgrading my Walter Payton rookie card. I have a PSA 6. I was looking to upgrade it possibly to a 7. So I found several, but, I want to kind of price them first. And there was a range of about $300 in price there on the PSA 7s that I found. But that's a really big tip, because you don't want to you don't want to spend a good amount of your money and then 30 minutes later find an even better deal, right? So keep that in mind. Third big tip about going to a show, especially one this size with vendors and dealers and collectors all over the country, is to make connections. This is so huge. Get business cards, give people your phone number, text them your phone number right there. Find out, let them know what you're looking for. They may not have brought it to the show, or they may not have one right now, but they may know somebody who has. A lot of these vendors and dealers that do this professionally, they're great at networking. They know a lot of the other dealers. So, and they may not focus on the type of cards you collect, but again, they may know somebody that does. So make connections. Also make connections with other collectors. Find out what they're collecting. You can help them, and they can help you. I think that's my biggest. That's what I like most about going to shows like this is making connections. And a lot of the dealers that were set up at the March show were also there in January, who were also there in November. So if you go regularly, the Dallas Card Show is being hosted pretty much every other month. Like I said, the next one's in May. So that's a big thing too. You see kind of the same people. They're kind of set up in the same area. You kind of know what they have. So keep that in mind too, is to make connections. It's really, really invaluable. And then bring stuff to sell or trade. Even if you're not really, you don't think you're, want to get rid of some of the stuff, go ahead and bring it just in case. You never know. You may run across something that you absolutely want way more than the stuff that you brought. It also gives you more flexibility in the transaction, right? You may want to upgrade, your BGS 7 to an 8, or things like that. So make sure that give yourself some flexibility. Bring plenty of cash. Dealing in cash is just easier, right? Most of the vendors there still will do PayPal, Venmo, any of those services, and a lot of them will have their IDs, their PayPal ID or a QR code that you can just scan it with your phone, and it'll open it up right there. So most of them are all set up and ready to go for that. But again, one of the big benefits of going to a show is that you can buy, sell, trade right there, no shipping. The sellers are saving on eBay fees, which gives them a little bit more flexibility to negotiate on the price. And if you're paying in cash, hey, cash is easy and fast, right? So bring cash, and then whatever you're bringing to potentially trade, try to bring about that same amount of money in cash. So you have the cards to trade or cash. Or if you don't sell the card there or trade it, maybe you're going to sell it right after the show on eBay or Facebook or something like that. So the point about that is to give yourself flexibility, right? Give yourself options. So that's pretty much it. It was a great show, more vintage this time, some just ridiculous high dollar cards, and then also plenty of affordable cards, plenty of cards that you can pick up for under $20. Not a lot of raw vintage though, which is kind of what I was hoping to see. There's some, but a lot of graded cards, a lot of slab cards. Heritage Auctions was there. I think Mile High Card Company was there, displaying their current auctions on just some ridiculous cards. So even if you just want to go to the show just to see some absolutely jaw-dropping monsters, they're there at this show. So if you have any questions or want me to expand on anything, just drop your questions below. You can shoot me a message, connect with me at coachdavidlee.com, and then at the link in the description, and then coachdavidlee.com/cardschool. A lot more content up there. But let me know what else you'd like to know about the show. If you're going to the next show, let me know. I believe it's May. I'll put the graphic up here, but May 20th, I think it is. But anyway, hope that helped. Hope that gave you some good tips on going to shows. And if you are going to go to the next one, I'll see you there. Hey there, hope you enjoyed that video. Definitely don't forget to give it a like, leave your comments below, and subscribe. Also, don't forget to pick up your free sports card resource guide. Just click the notification link in the video here, or click the link below in the description. It's the perfect guide to help you get started or maybe restarted in the sports card hobby today.